Yo, what's good? It's your boy, Sit If the Scales Will Prevail. We back at it with another video, a new series. This is the Mars through Signs series, basically, right? So, starting off with Mars and Aries. Before we start, though, I need you guys to subscribe to the YouTube channel, right? I need you to like if you do like the content, and if not, that's cool too. You know what I mean? God bless you. I appreciate y'all for tuning in, and let's talk about this Mars through Aries signs, right? We're gonna go through all of the 12 signs with Mars coming through it and what it means, right? I got my phone here because I got some notes basically that I took, just so I can give you proper information in case I forget anything, right? Now, Mars basically, right, in Roman mythology is known as the god of war. It's known as the god of war. Being that Mars is known as the god of war, in a chart it could represent conflict, quarrels in the area that it's actually in, basically. That's one of the things, right? It can also show how you act, basically. It can show desires, how you direct your energy. It can show how you deal with anger and aggression, your Mars sign. It represents your sexual expression as well. And it also represents your ideal boyfriend archetype for a woman in a woman's chart, right? I already said that it's going to state where you have conflict, quarrels. It can show strife in that area in terms of the house. And even by sign, you know, you can see things that it's going to show up as, right? And that's because Mars is the god of war, warfare, basically, right? Now, when Mars goes into the sign of Aries, it's very comfortable here, right? This is because this actually has the dignity, right? Mars is actually comfortable here in the sign of Aries, right? Because it's home here. Mars is home to Aries and Scorpio, basically. So it's a very comfortable placement. Now, in terms of how you act, one thing I want to state though is when you're looking into a birth chart, there's always multiple areas that you need to compare, right? If you want to find out about somebody's actions, you need to compare the Mars sign, right, with the Ascendant sign, basically, which is basically the first house. What's going on in that first house? This will tell you how somebody acts because it's the mask that they wear. So Mars is your actions, but acting or act is basically a word, keyword that's inside of the word actions, right? So in terms of how you act, you're someone who's very very much of a go-getter, leader, pioneer. You could be a bit domineering at times, you know what I mean? Some may find you impulsive at times too, you know, when you have displacement. But yeah, just a leader. On the negative side, maybe a bit selfish because Mars, especially in Aries too, is a very independent type of energy. You know what I mean? You guys like to do your own thing. You know, and I consider Aries the sign of the warrior, basically, right? Especially with Mars here. Mars is it's a planet that represents warfare. So like I said, it's home here, right? In terms of your desires and the way you direct your energy, you could desire to be a leader, maybe to do your own thing, basically. Or you need to be a leader, basically, if you're not. Now, other planets, basically, can change this in terms of aspects to the Mars sign that may alter things, but it's a general energy in terms of your desires and the way you direct your energy, trailblazing, right? Anger and aggression. Let's talk about this. You guys can be very direct, but a bit impulsive. Aries is the first sign, so it's kind of like a child, right? And children don't think. They kind of go off how they feel, right? So even when it comes to directing energy, you may move in that manner, basically, to where you're very direct, like I said, and impulsive, but may not think things through. That's the only negative side, but again, it's comfortable here. You may find that you love to fight. Again, aspects made to your Mars sign will also kind of change your fighting style. As an example, you may have Mars making a aspect to Pluto, and that could make you more controlled in terms of how you fight, or more calculated as opposed to just impulsive. So that's just one example. You know, different aspects will say different things about your fighting style, but just wanted to throw that in here, right? Look at aspects. Sexual expression, right? Now, for sexual expression, you want to look at your Mars sign, but you also want to compare it with your 8th house, basically, to also tell about the nature of how you express yourself sexually, right? How you are in the bedroom, basically. Definitely when you have Mars in Aries, you're very passionate, or you need passion, basically, right? You could be the type that's ready ready to get things going. But of course, aspects, of course, will change this. Look to see also what's going on in your 8th house. For instance, if you have Saturn in your 8th house, this may restrict you a little bit in your intimate life or with how you deal with sexuality, right? Even though you could be very much passionate, you know what I mean, and very much wanting to go, you know, because Aries is the ram basically. So you have to compare these different parts of your chart. Now, in a woman's chart, we said that Mars is the ideal boyfriend archetype, right? So you need someone who's strong. You need someone who's a bit independent, maybe not so much on you. Love language is more so kind of like Venus in terms of how you relate, but in terms of physical attraction, you need someone who's maybe a boss, you know what I mean, their own leader, maybe someone who has a business, maybe someone who's into fitness, which Mars and Aries energy rules over. You may be attracted to people who fight, you know what I mean, fighters, people who are competitors in terms of sports, as Mars and Aries energy can rule over. Just as an example, it can play out a lot of ways, but you know, someone who's active, you know what I mean, that's what I would think, or just takes action, you know. Compare your, another thing I want to say is, in terms of, for you women out there, look at the house that Mars is in. That's also going to tell you traits about your, the guy that you're physically drawn to. Like, right, if it's in the 2nd house, 1st house would basically be Aries, kind of like double Aries energy, definitely Aries energy, right? But Mars in the 2nd house, they'll have Taurus qualities, so look up keywords, traits of Taurus. They would embody that too in terms of what you're physically drawn to. If it's in the 3rd house, Gemini. If it's in the, 4th house, Cancerian traits that they'll have. If it's in the 5th house, Leo. 6th is Virgo. 7th is Libra qualities. 8th is Scorpio. 9th is Sagittarius. 10th sign basically would be Capricorn. 11th Aquarius, and Pisces would be 12th house. So you want to compare again the sign of Aries in terms of keywords, qualities of Aries with whatever house it's in basically, right? Now, in terms of where you have conflict, it usually shows up by sign and also house. So Mars coming through Aries, being that you're the type that can be confrontational or just very aggressive or direct, you may find that you rub people the wrong way, right? So you may cause some of your own conflict basically, right? Because you're not scared to fight normally. You may have other placements that may change this, but this is just a general energy. Also look in terms of by house, as this could show where you have conflict too, as you guys are wanting to take action or rise, as this is kind of what Mars and Aries can represent. This may be why you have some issues in that area, right? As you desire to initiate, you desire to take action, be a leader, right? I think that's pretty much it in terms of what I want to talk about. I hope that this video was very insightful. Stay tuned. We got Mars and Taurus next, and thank you for your time.